For years, Minnesota presented itself as a model state for social services, especially when it came to helping children and families. But beneath that image, investigators now say something far more troubling was unfolding. What began as a routine review of child care funding has exploded into one of the largest alleged fraud cases in state history. At the center of the storm, taxpayer money, daycare programs, and a system that prosecutors believe was exploited on a massive scale. Federal investigators are now examining claims that billions of dollars meant to support children were instead diverted, misused, or stolen outright. And the consequences are growing by the day. According to federal authorities, dozens of individuals have already been charged. Many more investigations are still ongoing. The Department of Justice confirms that this was not a single mistake or oversight, but an alleged network of coordinated abuse involving social service programs. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has acknowledged the severity of the issue. He says fraud is a major problem and claims responsibility for fixing it. However, a key question remains unanswered. Will he testify before Congress? The House Oversight Committee has formally requested that Governor Walz appear before lawmakers. Committee leaders argue that state officials were either dangerously negligent or knowingly complicit, while billions of dollars slipped through the cracks. As scrutiny intensifies, the federal government has taken a dramatic step. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has frozen all federal child care payments to Minnesota. That decision affects not only the programs under investigation, but also families who rely on legitimate services. Officials say the freeze will remain in place until they can verify which daycare centers are operating lawfully and which are not. President Trump weighed in on the situation, calling the Minnesota case just the beginning. He claims similar schemes may exist across the country and says the administration is committed to uncovering them all. According to Trump, this is not limited to one state or one program. It's a nationwide problem hiding in plain sight. Meanwhile, investigators allege that some daycare operators attempted to cover their tracks once audits began. In one case, a learning center claimed critical documents, enrollment records, employee files, and financial paperwork had mysteriously disappeared. But law enforcement officials who responded to a reported break-in found no evidence that anything had actually been stolen. Police later suggested the damage appeared to come from inside the building, not from an outside intruder. To critics, the explanation raises more questions than answers. Financial records, after all, don't simply vanish. Banks retain transaction histories. Federal programs track payments. Paperwork alone cannot erase a digital trail. As public debate intensified, some attempted to frame the investigation as racial or political targeting. Authorities pushed back strongly, stating that the focus is on evidence, not ethnicity, not politics, and not community identity. The White House echoed that message. According to administration officials, this investigation is now a top federal priority. Search warrants are being executed, subpoenas are being issued, and agencies on the ground are conducting door-to-door inspections at suspected fraud sites. Officials say accountability is coming. The numbers alone are staggering. Some estimates suggest tens of millions of dollars have already been confirmed as misused. Other projections push potential losses into the billions, within Minnesota alone. Lawmakers are now questioning how such a scale of abuse could occur without triggering alarms much earlier. In response, state officials have announced new oversight roles, outside audits, and integrity officers. But critics argue these steps came far too late. For everyday Minnesotans, the impact is immediate. Funding freezes mean uncertainty. Families worry about access to childcare. Honest providers fear being punished for crimes they didn't commit. Yet federal officials insist the pause is necessary. Their argument is simple. Before more taxpayer money is distributed, the system must be proven clean. Whistleblowers and investigative journalists played a key role in bringing this case to light. Without them, officials admit the fraud may have continued unchecked. Supporters of expanded social programs say this case proves why oversight matters, not why programs should be abandoned. Eliminate fraud, eliminate waste, then ensure taxpayer dollars actually reach the people they're meant to help. As hearings approach and investigations continue, one thing is clear. This story is far from over. And the final cost, political, financial, and public, has yet to be fully revealed.